I believe the hope we have for this world is directly correlated to how often we allow ourselves to dream. And frankly, I'm fucking over people putting dreams in boxes of what's realistic or sensible or practical when we'd never ask that of hope. I know you feel tired. I do too. We're doing it anyway. A podcast for tired dreamers, unpacking the expectations, the conditioning, the fear and shame alongside other cages we may not yet know we're living inside. By the way, I'm Cait. Let's get into it. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the She's Hungry podcast. Oh my goodness. I hope you're doing well. I hope wherever you are, it is warm and or comforting. Yeah, maybe warm isn't your thing, but I hope it's comforting. I hope wherever you are, you feel safe. And I hope more times than not throughout your day, you feel grateful and happy and thankful. And I was just having this profound experience. A couple of weeks ago, I took the van out and I was having, kind of a low self-esteem week. And I took the van out to Smith Rock. And I parked in a national grassland. Like, did you know that they exist? Did you know that was a thing? Oh, my laptop was just like, yo, bitch, we're about to die. Did you know a national grassland was a thing? I certainly didn't. But anyway, so I took the van out to Smith Rock to take Wyatt hiking and out to this national grassland to park. And let me tell you, it was beautiful. If you are listening to this on my Substack, or if you have access to my Substack, I will post a picture from the sunset from where I parked. And let me tell you want to talk about grateful. Anytime I see, I fully take in the sun, like the full, just magnitude of the sun, I just have this swath of gratitude that just washes over me. It's really, truly just beautiful. But anyway, so I had this moment where Wyatt and I were hiking at Smith Rock. And I'm assuming most of you have never been, but if you have, then you know, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So when you enter, the actual trails and the area of where all the trails are for Smith Rock, it's incredibly steep in the beginning. I said that like it's like vertical. No, I'm not really good at math, so I'm just going to throw it out there. And if anybody wants to tell me that I'm wrong, please do. I welcome that. It's probably like, if this is 90, this is 45. I don't know, maybe like 45, 60. I don't know. That feels like a lot. But the incline is the angle of the path to go down into where the river is and everything is just very, very steep. And so, your knees are bracing you as you walk down it. And then you can walk completely down essentially a very flat path. And it goes like all the way down this hill. And then it, cuts back around and then into the actual kind of like park area. And, or you can like walk partway down the really steep area. And then there's a trail that is like a little bit rocky and it has a little bit of like switchbackiness to it. And it's called the Chute Trail. And I'd never been down it before. So we decided that's where we were going to go down. And my dog, every time I'm in anywhere like this, he like turns into, I don't know, like Indiana Jones or something. And he just wants to take off running, but you're supposed to have your dog on a leash. And because Wyatt is maniac, I tend to keep him on a leash. But when you're doing these things like this and he gets very excited, you're like questioning if you're going to lose your life because if he's just going to pull you down the side of the trail. Anyway, so we did this whole hike very enthusiastically, about 4 miles. And we're, now you have to turn around and you got to go back out of the park the way that you came. So yes, you have to see this you have to walk up the really, really steep incline that you walked down. And now I've walked 4 miles or hiked 4 miles in between this, or about 3, because the last part back to the van is about a mile. Anyway, but you've hiked about 3 miles now, and your legs are a little bit tired. 3 miles isn't that much, but, and anyway, so I'm walking up this trail and I'm tired. And the second day, in fact, I actually forgot water. So that was great too. Good job. Sorry, Mom and Dad, if you're listening to this. But we're walking up and I just keep, saying to myself, like, just get to this, like, that's sometimes what I do when things are hard. Just like I give myself little milestones where it's like, if you just go and push yourself to this point, then you can rest. And if you just push yourself to this next point, then you can rest. And I think honestly, that's that's kind of my philosophy for life in general, is that I like, finding where my edges are and pushing past them, whether that's mentally, whether that's physically. I really like finding the edges of my life and then looking at them dead in the face and making a choice from all of that. Whether it's apprehension or doubt or excitement or fear, I'm like, okay, like, oh, I see you. And now let's make a choice. And so I had set all of these little, milestones along this chute trail after my legs were pretty tired and I was pretty tired, because I hadn't had water. And I get to essentially I think it might have been the last switchback or the second to last switchback, but it was pretty much like the highest point, on this trail before you get to, the next highest point and the next hard part of the incline. But anyway, I get there and my heart is like pounding. It is like pounding in my chest. I don't remember the last time I felt it pound that hard. And yes, that means I'm out of shape. Absolutely. 100%. I will admit that. And also I never had felt so grateful in such a long time. And I turned around and the view from this spot at Smith Rock was just so beautiful. And there's so many beautiful spots at Smith Rock. And I mean, just absolutely incredible and magnificent, and makes you feel small and all those kinds of wondrous things. But the view, with the way the sun was hitting it and everything like that, I turned around and I saw this view and I felt my heart and my chest beating and I just sobbed. I just cried. I doubled over and just let out this like complete sob. Because I just felt so insanely grateful for, this heart in my chest, that it's like, wow, this thing got me here. Like, this thing keeps me alive. This organ that I take for granted so often, it's just in my chest and they're doing the thing and keeping me alive, and like, feel how hard it's fucking working. That's incredible. It's just so incredible. And I just had just huge amounts of gratitude wash over me. It was just, I just really, really felt it was just so powerful. Because it's like, every day we get so stuck in our heads about everything. And I'm so guilty of this, especially lately. I've been, I've been working on my coaching business, working with my clients there, and then, working still in my photography business. Ow. I wonder if that showed up on the recording. I just sat down on the bench in my van and then the little headset bumped into my cabinet. Anyway, So it made a clunk noise. So if you heard it, you heard me hit my head. But it's like we miss how, like, if the, you know, the small things about our lives and what's possible and our days and what's possible with them. And we spend so much time in our head, which is so powerful and okay and fine and great and wonderful, because we as humans have that capacity to do that. So how fun and how miraculous is that we can spend and build full worlds and stories and thought patterns and habits in our heads. But the detrimental part about that is that most of the time what's happening inside of there is so negative. It's so judgmental. It's critical. It's harsh. We are in fact our own worst enemy. And that's not like, it's like, man, with how powerful the thing is that we're utilizing and we're wielding, and that most of the time we're using it to our own detriment. That's so unfortunate and so sad. And so I think, I everybody, I think it's like a really, popular thing, and it's like a buzzword where it's like, oh, a gratitude practice, and, write down the things that you're grateful for. But I think that we've become so disconnected with the way gratitude feels in our bodies, that when we say, oh, I'm grateful for this, or, oh, that, even any feeling, to be honest, like, oh, that makes me sad. Oh, that makes me happy. Oh, I'm so excited. It's like, where do you feel it? Because those are all feelings. Gratitude is a feeling. Where are you feeling it? Point to your body where you are feeling the gratitude, please. Because it's a thing that you feel. Happy, joy, even fear. There are things you feel. Tell me where you feel them. And so because we have become so disconnected from how our feelings or how things feel in our bodies, that we just intellectualize all of our own, like, the most human experiences that we have, which is our feelings. And then we think we've, done the work, or we're growing, but in fact, we're missing the whole point. We're missing all of it. And so I don't know. I just hope that my hope is that, I don't know, when you listen to this, maybe after you're finished listening to this, like, you take 1 minute or 2 minutes and you just really truly think about one thing in the last 24 hours. Because I think it's much easier when we think about something that we're grateful for, or having gratitude, that we say, oh, I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I think it's really easy to just intellectualize or just keep those kinds of gratitude things, like those topics, those larger categories of things that we're grateful for, the food in our stomachs, the roofs over our heads, the people in our lives. Again, that doesn't mean that we're not grateful for them, but I think that if you really want to, narrow in on your gratitude practice, or like something that you want to practice fully, submerging yourself in what it feels to be grateful, I think that it's helpful, or more helpful, to start with things that have occurred in the last 24 hours that might lend themselves to bigger concepts. So, for instance, if I were to, you know, participate in this right now, I feel so grateful for the people in my life. And that sounds like a really large thing, but I mean, I'm grateful for the girlfriends I never thought that I would have, because they are so funny and so smart and just so supportive and just brilliant, incredible people, just so powerful. And I feel so grateful for that, because I never thought that I would have girlfriends in my life like this. And it makes me, like, the reason that I know that I feel it is because it borderline makes me emotional with how much gratitude I feel for those people in my life. I'm grateful for the redefined relationship and the work that my mom and I have put in to have the relationship that we do, because there was a time a couple of times in our life where I wasn't sure what our relationship was going to look like going forward. But we never quit and we never gave up. And I just feel so much gratitude inside of me for my mom and that relationship that we've worked so hard on. And I practice, you can hear it. I hope you can hear it. I hope you can feel how much when I say those things, I truly mean them. And the only reason I think that I've been able to access that kind of truth and that kind of raw gratitude is because I genuinely practice it. And to feel it frequently. And this moment standing at Smith Rock and turning around and not just being like, oh, that's a beautiful view. Did I take a photo? Absolutely. Will I post it? Absolutely. If you're not on the 12th House of Wild Substack, that's where the photo will be. But it wasn't just about, like wanting to capture this moment to share it somewhere or wanting to capture this moment and, because it was beautiful. It had everything to do with the fact that I felt my heart so prevalently inside of my chest and just felt so grateful for the fact that I have a body that got me there. And, that I have a body that's healthy and supports me and is currently filling my lungs in my chest as I speak to you here. I think it's just so fucking cool. And so that's what today's episode is about. How to unlock gratitude inside of you in a way that you can feel. I love you. You are enough. You are brave. You are wonderful. You are kind. You are loving. You are a good person. You are a good friend. I hope that you find a way to forgive yourself. I hope that you can give yourself compassion and grace and kindness. You don't need to earn your value. You are wonderful and everything and so powerfully perfect, just as you are. And if you're like me, you hear that and you're like, okay, I'm not perfect. And I would encourage you to think of it like this. How you are using the power that you have may be imperfect, but everything you have inside of you is perfectly made to create a life and a legacy and love that is so perfect. And on that note, like we always say, until next time, always stay hungry. Oh, wait, just kidding. I did want to mention before we go that if you haven't signed up for my coaching program yet, I've said that so many times. It's the coaching project. If you haven't signed up for the coaching project yet and you are somebody that is sitting here right now thinking, wow, I really would like to spend more time doing this kind of work. I would like to get to know myself on a level that I feel like I can be proud of who that is and who shows up every day. That I would like to learn more about how to set better boundaries with people, that I would like to understand more about my own core values. If you are just thinking, whatever it is that you're doing or however it is that you're spending your time right now, if you're just not satisfied and you can't possibly think that this is how you want to spend the rest of your life, then please come talk to me. This coaching project is about me expressing the value that I have, that everybody should have access to support, to feel seen, heard, and valued. And so I have been feeling kind of disconnected from that purpose lately. So this has been a way for me to reconnect and reignite myself through the work that I feel so called to in the world. So please allow me to do it. And through the education that I have and the background that I have, please allow me to use the countless rabbit holes that I have been down for the past 33 years of my life, learning all of the information that I can about, behavioral psychology and neuroscience and powerful conscious coaching, to support you. Please let me do that. Give me a reason to use all of the knowledge that is in my big, beautiful brain. Okay. And in order to book that call, they're 75 minutes. They're completely free. Like I said, they are just a gift of my time to you because I believe in you and you deserve to have support in whatever it is that you want to create for your life. And so if you want to book a call, it is, like I said, 75 minutes. And you can find the link on my Instagram in the bio, I'm assuming. You can find it in the show notes here. That's probably the easiest way to access it. And then also, if you're part of my Substack community, it's you can book the call there, or even on my email list, you can book the call there. And if you're like, hey, I would like to be a part of the Substack community, which is also completely free, or any of those things, access to me in all of its forms is easiest through the links that are here in the show notes. So that's the best way to get into contact with me. You can join my email list. You can join the Substack. And you can follow me on Instagram, all through links that are located in the show notes. So again, now we'll round it out. Like we always say, always stay hungry.